Hey there, it's Luke. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to set up a static route on a very simple network that I've set up here. We just have four routers in a line. We have a .10 network, a .20 network, and then a .30 network over here. So the end goal for today is going to be able to ping from router 0 all the way over to router 3 and back using static routes. And I'll get into the details a little bit later, but the first thing we have to do is set up all the interfaces on these routers because I haven't done any of the configurations yet. Let's go ahead and start with router 0. Go to the command line interface. Use the enable and configure terminal commands. And then let's get into interface G000, which is, as you can see, the interface that we have connected to router 0 right now. First, we need to set the IP address with the command IP address. So as we can see over here, it's 192.168.10.1, and then our subnet mask. Because these first three octets are going to be our network bits, and then this last octet is going to consist of our host bits. As you can see, within the .10 network, they have different these two different hosts have different host bits. So our subnet mask is going to be 255.255.255, and then the last octet is going to be all zeros. And there we go. And we've set the IP address, but one thing we need to remember to do is to run the no shutdown command. Because the default state for a router, when you just create one in Packet Tracer, is that it's going to be administratively down. So we have to undo the shutdown command so that it can be up and running. So we should be good for router 0. Now let's go to router 1. Same thing. Zero. This one, IP address 192.168.10.2, 255.255.255.0, and the no shutdown command. And as you can see, because both these interfaces are now up and running, we have a connection established here, and it's the lights here have turned green. Now we just type in the IP, not the IP, the interface command G001 on this router, because we have two interfaces we need to configure, G000 and G001. So IP address. So this one's going to be 192.168.20.1, but the same network mask. 255. And again, the no shutdown command. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and quickly configure the interfaces on these two routers over here. So I'll be right back. All right. Hey guys, I'm back. I've just configured the interfaces on the routers 2 and 3, and you can see here that I have assigned all the IP addresses to the interface. And I did this with the show IP interface brief command. Show IP interface gives you like a lot of information that you only need to be worried about right now. And we only really need to see the IP address and the interface, so the brief command works better. And this is a privileged exec mode command, which means that if you are going to try and run this command from like configuration mode or interface mode, you're going to have to add the do keyword to run it. Okay, so let's start talking about the static routing. So let's start by opening up router 0's routing table here. We do that with the command show IP routes. So this will show us all of router 0's routes that it currently has saved. So we see two routes. The L here stands for local route, and as you can see, it's just pointing to itself. It's saying this address is one of my interfaces. The C here stands for connected route. So this points to any interface that this router has a direct connection to. In this case, it's this interface right here on router 1. If we look at router 1, we can see that, give me a second, it actually has 4 routes, right? It has 2 local routes and 2 connected routes. That's because it has 2 interfaces here, right? So it has 2 local routes, 1 for each interface, and then also 2 connected routes, 1 for each interface that is connected to. So because we have a route, like router 0 has a route to this interface router 1. If we try and ping it, 2.168.10.2, we get a response. We're successful. However, in order to get to router 3, we need to add a route. And this time, in this case, we're gonna add it ourselves. So a static route. So in order to add a route, we need 2 things. First of all is our destination, right? So to get to router 3, we need to get to this .30 network. And the second thing is we're going to need a next hop, right? Basically, the next place that the router has to send the packet to get to its final destination. And here we can clearly see that it's gonna be go through router 1 all the way to router 3, right? So let's see how this looks. So go to configuration mode, and the command is going to be IP routes, and then first the destination and a subnet mask. So our destination is going to be this network right here, 192.168.30.255.255.255.0. And then the last field is going to be the next hop, right? So to get to over here, we need to go through router 1. So our next hop is going to be this interface, 192.168.10.2. There we go. And now if we show IP route, if we look at the router table again, boom, we see that we've added this route from router 0 to router 3. However, router 0 now has a route to router 3, but router 1 still doesn't have a route to router 3 because it doesn't know. So we also have to go to router 1. We have to go to router 1 and conft add the route here. So it's going to be the same destination. So it's going to be 192.168.30.0.255.255.255.0. But our next hop is going to be different, right? Because router 1 should go through router 2. So it should use this interface here on router 2 as its next hop. 192.168.20.2. There we go. And now router 2 doesn't need a route to router 3 because it's already directly connected. Now if we try to ping this, I'll show you it's not going to work. Just 192.168.30.2. It's going to time out and it's not going to work. And the reason for that is because the ping is a two-way command. The router 0 is trying to send a packet all the way to router 3. And it has the path there, but router 3 needs to send the ping packet back to router 0 in order for the ping to be considered a success. And router 3, we haven't configured any of the routes there, so router 3 has no idea how to get to router 0. And I can actually demonstrate that's exactly what's going on by entering simulation mode. I'm going to do the ping again, and we're going to see this packet travels, gets all the way to router 3. So we know that our routes to router 3 works, but then this packet gets dropped because router 3 doesn't have a route back, right? So let's go backwards, right? So we need a path from router 3 to router 0, and we also need a path from router 2 to router 0. So let's do that real quick. IP route 192.168, and our destination is the .10 network. And our next hop is going to be this interface right here, 192.168.30. Router 2, we're going to need the same destination, IP routes, 192.168.10.0.255.255.255.0. And our next hop is going to be this interface on router 1. So 192.168.20.1. And now let's try the ping again. And there we go. We have a success rate of 100%, which means we successfully configured all of these. And one more thing is that if we try and ping 2.168. We have a route. If we try and ping from router 0 to this middle network here, we actually fail, because if we look at the routing table, we only have a route to this 30 network actually here. We actually don't have a route to the 20 network. So we can go ahead and add that. Route, oops, IP route 192.168.20.255.255.255.0. And then our next hop is still going to be the same, 192.168.10.2. Our next hop is still going to be the same as this route, but it's just a different destination. And likewise, we can go back and check ping 192.168.20.2, and the ping now works. And for symmetry purposes, let's configure a route from router 3 to router 1. So 192.168.20.1, 255.255.255.0, 192.168. Again, same next hop, 30.1. Inconsistent address and mask. Oh, right, because this shouldn't be a shouldn't be a 0. It should be a 0 because it's a network address. There we go. And let's ping to check 192.168.20.1. And there we go. So that's how to set up a static route in a simple network.